The Hoper Show. Helping one crushed soul at a time. Crush, crush, crush soul.
Hello everyone, my name is Hopra and welcome to the show. Today we'll be talking to the Ramrath family who has witnessed a horrific death. What act is this, you might ask? It's World War II. Let's check out the Ramrath family story. Goodbye, Statue of Liberty. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Look, Papa, a whale!
Look kids, it's the Statue of Liberty.
Off the whale.
That wasn't that moving. And when we come back, you will get a glimpse into the life of one of the family members. Join the Red Cross.
Helps a lot of people. Makes you feel good about yourself. It's great!
Okay, here with me now is Mathilde Ramrath. Hello, Mathilde. It's nice to meet you.
You too. Thank you very much for having us on the show.
Oh, you're welcome. Now let's start, shall we? How hard was it to leave your home in Stratford, New Jersey and move back to Germany?
Very hard. I had been in the United States for quite a while.
And did you want to go back to Germany?
No, actually I didn't. I loved where we were, and I didn't want anything to change.
How did you cope with living in a ravaged city, or ravaged?
It was very hard. While we were in Germany, I had 2 more kids, and things became a lot more difficult.
I hope that everything works out for you.
Thank you again.
My pleasure. When we come back, we will have Joe Ramrath on. Canned ham? Canned ham? What's happened to my canned ham? Have you seen my canned ham, Sam?
Sure, Gram. I found your can of ham.
Thanks, Sam.
Get yourself some canned ham today at Aldi.
It's great! Welcome back to the Hoper Show. Now I have Joe Ramrath on. It's nice to meet you, Joe.
You too, Hopra.
Here we go. What was it like to live in Germany during the war?
It was very difficult. You see, I did not agree with the Nazi Party at all, so I got in trouble a lot.
What do you mean you got in trouble?
Well, I got reported twice for saying bad things about Hitler and the Nazis. The Gestapo, or secret police, took me in for questioning. Both times I was almost executed, but my boss would come in and say what a great man I was. That got me off the hook.
That sounds scary. Were there any other problems while you were in Germany?
Yes, I felt as though I had let my family down.
Why was that?
Well, I couldn't provide enough for my family. My wife was trying to keep the children happy. Frank was called to duty. Eleanor had to act like another adult. And poor Tommy and Elizabeth were too young to understand why I couldn't give them more food when they were hungry. It broke my heart.
Is that time to test some more?
I'm sorry, darling. We don't have any more.
I'm so sorry, but your whole family made it through the war, so don't put yourself down too much.
I'll try not to.
That's better. Thank you, Joe, for coming on.
You're welcome.
After this commercial, we'll have Frank Ramrath on. Honey, where's your manners? It's a lovely tea party, Celia.
Yeah!
Reunited by spiced apple cider tea.
Ooh, scandalous!
Yeah, try some.
Ooh, perfect! Ooh, splendid!
I know.
I spiced apple cider tea today!
again, everyone. If you're just tuning in, I have an incredible family with me today. It's the Ramrath family. And now I'm going to interview Frank. Hi, Frank.
Hello, Oprah. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Well, thank you. Now, Frank, how old are you?
I'm 18 years old, ma'am.
Now, aren't you just a charmer? So, Frank, how did you feel when you were forced to move?
I was very upset and very angry. I thought that I would never forgive my parents what they did.
I know this is random, but I heard through the grapevine that you were called to duty. Is this true?
Yes, but I got lucky. See, my mom and dad convinced the commander to let me stay home and not fight in the war.
And how did they do that?
A doctor gave the commander a note that said I was under suspicion of tuberculosis, and that was the end of that.
I can tell that you're going to be a very special man, Frank. Thank you for coming.
No problem, ma'am.
When we come back, we will have one last Ramrath family member on. And we are back on the Hopper Show. Again. With me, I have Mr. and Mrs. Ramrath's eldest daughter, Eleanor. It's nice to meet you, Eleanor.
It's very nice to meet you too, Mrs. Finby.
Oh, Eleanor, call me Hopra.
Okay, Hopra.
Now, Eleanor, tell me about what life was like when you first came to Berlin.
I liked it there at first. Berlin was such a beautiful and exciting city. The only thing I didn't like in Berlin was school.
And why was that?
Well, the teachers were very strict, and if we didn't do something exactly right, they'd discipline us.
Like how?
The teachers would slap our hands with rulers until our hands were red and throbbing. They would also scream in our faces and wait till we cried to stop.
Very good job. Eleanor,
Yes?
what is 2 times 2?
22.
Wrong!
My hand! Hey!
That sounds terrible. And what about the bombings?
Those times were dreadful. I hated hearing those wretched sounds of the air raid sirens. We would sit in our cellar or the subway across the street until the raids were over.
I love you, Frank. I love you too.
And when the raids were over, what did you see when you came out from hiding?
It was always a terrible sight. Things would be on fire. Buildings were piles of rubble. It was such a sad sight.
Ah!
Gosh.
How did all this make you feel?
I became very depressed. I went through my daily life acting as a robot. Then one day, I saw a robin.
A robin?
A robin.
What's so special about a robin?
You see, we hadn't seen many birds in Berlin in a while, so seeing that bird gave me hope that things were going to get better.
Oh, well, that's very special. Thank you so much for talking to me. I want to thank all the members of the Ramrath family, even little Tommy and Elizabeth. See, they're too young to tell their life stories, but thank you anyway. This has touched my heart so deeply. And next week, we're going to have a man who has claimed to have seen a UFO on the show. Until then, remember my motto, help as many crushed souls as you can. Goodbye, everyone!
Obviously, you didn't buy spiced apple cider tea.
Ooh.
Funny.
Marshmallow?
Obviously, you didn't buy spiced apple cider.
I didn't
on the Hoper Show. Again. With me now I have Mr. and Mrs. Ramrath's eldest daughter, Eleanor. Hello, Eleanor.
It's very nice to meet you too, Miss Finby.
Oh, I'm sorry. Never
Oh!
I'm sorry.
I'm scared. I'm scared too. I love you, Frank. I love you too.
What's 2 times 2?
62.